Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 59 of the Game Time Gents podcast. It is me, Nardy, here with Fish and Zoltowski. Boys.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. And we have an exciting week 8. Almost makes me sad that football only has 10 weeks left in the regular season. But exciting week 8. It is tight end week. National Tight End Day is going to be October 26th. It's always on the fourth Sunday of October. And last year, I do believe there was quite a few tight ends that found the end zone last year. So maybe we'll see that again. Maybe tight ends will be in a couple of people's starts of the week. So we'll look there here in a moment. But before we get into those, we do have some news. We do have our fantasy zeros and heroes of week 7. And who wants to start us off, boys?
Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, take it away.
All right, well, I'm going to talk about my team. We finally had another victory Monday. It was pretty great yesterday. The Browns won a football game, and Quinshon Judkins is the second coming of Nick Chubb. It's pretty nice that we have hit the ball out of the park on 2 running backs that have come back-to-back. So if we could just do that with quarterbacks once, maybe that'd be nice. But that's my big part of the news. For fantasy purposes, Bye-Apocalypse week is upon us. There are 6 teams out this week. This is the largest bye week in any week going forward. So the 6 teams missing this week are the Rams, Jags, Cardinals, Seahawks, Lions, and the Raiders. So missing some teams, missing some players there. Hopefully you have good alternatives. Zoltowski, it sounds like in one of your leagues you may have some issues coming up.
No, I'm good. I figured it out today. But it was weird to see, or it sucked to see all those just blanks. Bye. And I'm like, why am I losing by, why is there a 97% chance for me to lose? Oh, half my team's on bye. So, yeah.
Yeah, those weeks you just kind of chalk it up and focus your attention to other leagues. But
I'm on a losing streak right now, so I really need this to. I think I play Mason and the boys, and then I can't remember who I play in Super Active, but I need both of their teams to also be decimated by Super Active's not too bad, but the boys was rough.
Yeah.
Fish, do you have any problems with that? And one of your 11,000 leagues you have?
I mean the usual stuff, but some of the people that we're going to talk about is going to kind of help fill those gaps. I know that the Rams, there's a lot of big implications there. A lot of people have Puka. Jags, same thing. They're kind of hot. Cardinals is a little wishy-washy. Seahawks, especially if you got JSN, that could be a pretty big problem. And Darnold, obviously the Lions, any player from the Lions. And then the Raiders have always been on a bye week since week 1. So, I mean, even if you're starting Genty, you're okay. There's 30,000 other alternatives. So, this is where the experts, the OGs of fantasy football kind of rely on the waiver wire pickups, the late flyers, and this is the week to kind of have fun, take a gamble. Maybe a guy that's only owned in 3% of leagues, started in 2. You might take a flyer like Tez. Tez is a great example. Keyshawn Butte is another one too, where not really managed in a lot of leagues. People didn't really start them unless you're AFK, but they kind of popped off. So you're just kind of looking for those late boomers. You never know, low risk, high reward kind of thing. So it's bye week hell. What else can you do? So
right,
you can only do what you can do. It is nice that you're able to play tight ends in your flex positions too. So maybe we'll give you a couple good players this week, but. The last piece of news I have is Mike McDaniels is still employed. There was a lot of concerns that, Zoltowski and I joked that was going to be the bowl of whoever lost was going to get fired between him and Stefanski.
The hot seat bowl, yes.
Mike McDaniels is still employed, and I don't know if you guys heard his post-game press conference, but I'm going to read it verbatim here. So, because we're not, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, assess another player. So he's talking about Tua there. And there's a lot of ums and uhs in there, and I think he did come out and say that Tua is going to be the quarterback this week, but I am pretty sure that they're going to move on from Tua this year. I don't know if it's going
We'll
to be
see
Quinn,
how.
Zach Wilson. It should be Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how long he's in the game for. I mean, he just looked awful. After stringing together a couple, decent games, I will say. And I mean, Zach Wilson, I think, was out there for 4 plays, and then they're like, maybe not even that. And then they threw Quinn Ewers in there. So I don't think it's going to be. I think we'll see Tua till he throws an interception, then they're benching him, and then we'll see Zach Wilson for a series, maybe, and then it'll just be Quinn Ewers from there.
It was kind of like there was 40-mile-an-hour winds in Cleveland on Sunday, and Mike McDaniels has an air raid offense. You got to scheme better than that. You can't just throw the ball down the field like that. But anyways,
I just don't understand because you have a dominant back in a chain, and he only gets 13 carries.
yeah.
You figure even with 40-mile-per-hour winds, put a little zip on the ball, 5 feet, 5 yards out, get it to a chain's hand. So I don't know. I think you're right. I think they move off of Tua, but do they trust Quinn Ewers enough? Do they try and tank for Arch? There's a couple other quarterbacks in college right now that are doing decently that may fall just because of their performance lately, losing big games, kind of falling in and out of the ranking systems, where over the years we've seen Texas, Ohio State, Bama, once they have that number 1 spot, they kind of stay in that realm. They don't really dip out of top 5, even if they do lose a game. But we've seen a lot of craziness. And we said it earlier this year, especially with the NFL. College has been really weird, too. There's been a lot of ranked teams losing to other lower ranked teams, and then even non-ranked teams beating a lot of these predominantly dominant quarterbacks that are supposed to be high rated coming out of college, top picks in the NFL. So maybe one of those guys. And I know we talk about Arch's last name. It really carries a lot of tone with it, but you never know. He's lost a couple games. Texas looks decent, and they don't. He could fall because people don't trust him. So ultimately, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Dolphins. I think they obviously move off of Tua. Tyreek is probably gone. So you're really kind of cleaning house and kind of building, hopefully, around Waddle and a chain and kind of going from there. But this year for them is a wash. It's tough to see what a couple years ago, last year maybe they were putting up 70 points, 30 points, and all of a sudden they can barely put up 16. So it's a weird year. It's a weird year.
Yeah, it's been super weird. I'll segue into one point I had here real quick. We talked a bunch of shit about the Colts this beginning of this year, said they might win 5 games. They're 6-1.
Yeah.
They're looking like a fantastic football team. Jonathan Taylor looks great. Daniel Jones is a fantastic quarterback. Apparently, he's the second coming of Peyton Manning for the Indiana Colts. NFL is super, super weird this year. Even the Giants, we wrote them off like week 3, and all of a sudden Jackson Dart comes in, talk about him a little later, and now they might, they lost a tough one in Denver, but it's a fantastic game, and that's really not on the offense, that's on the defense.
It's on their
but
kicker
you talk
too.
about the kicker too.
He's
Oh
been
god.
released.
Yeah. And they had just signed the kicker that the Falcons released, Younghoe.
Yeah.
Younghoe Koo, who was, I don't know why they got rid of him, but he's always been fairly consistent. I don't know why he wasn't out there kicking the ball. But you mentioned Arch Manning, and I know a lot of people think he's gonna be he's gonna declare to the draft next year. He shouldn't. He needs to take another year. He's got that eligibility. The struggles he had at the beginning of the year, he's pieced it together. But and I think Drew Aller is also draft eligible, but he is out for the rest of the season because he just got hurt.
It was a pretty gruesome injury, right?
So he needed surgery.
I can't.
That's what it was. Those are 2 guys who you were expecting to go, higher in the draft. Penn State, Texas, number 1, number 2 preseason ranks. Last week they were unranked, not ranked at all. Texas lost to OSU and then lost again to Florida. I think there was another one. They didn't look good in between. Penn State lost to the Ducks at home, and then went on and lost to winless UCLA And then you talked about the big upsets. Number 2 Miami lost to ACC opponent Louisville, unranked.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Beck, another guy, talked about him when he was at Georgia, transfers to Miami, throws 4 interceptions. Hard to win a game with 4 interceptions, guys.
Well, it's interesting to think about, right? Kind of going back to the Colts, right? Where we've talked about these players that get drafted insanely high, right? Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold. They don't do well with the team where they just don't have any support around them, right? We've seen that happen time and time again. People like I mean, they got to blame somebody, right? It's either the coach or it's the quarterback. First it's the quarterback, then it's the coach. Um, then these guys leave these teams, and all of a sudden, Daniel Jones is doing incredibly well. So we don't know if it's a system thing. Same thing with Sam Darnold. He goes to the Vikings, does incredibly well, gets his fat contract that he deserves, and then goes and plays in Seattle. And we're like, they have JSN, they got lost, they got rid of DK Metcalf. They're doing incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So think of all these players, right? All these young quarterbacks who did get drafted or went undrafted in those middle rounds or wasn't picked up at all. A couple come to name. You got Jalen Milroe, who was very, very successful in Alabama, primarily a running quarterback, but it's tough to bring down. But then you also have the Patriots got a guy last year. He was a rookie, big dude. Dallas has him now.
Joe Milton.
That guy has shown that he can air the shit out of the ball.
Throws past missiles.
I mean, he really does. He throws them hard. To me, I'm looking at if I'm kind of going back to the Dolphins, right? If the whole Quinn Ewers thing doesn't work, you can get those guys relatively cheap. Give a pick, considerations, whatever it may be. The hell with that. I mean, both those guys have played. Mills a little bit more, but they played in those games, even if it was garbage time or whatnot. I mean, he's done well with the Pats. And then even when he kind of stepped in for Dak when they're being, blowing the team out or whatever it may be, he has shown skills, especially in preseason. Granted, it's preseason, but those are a couple guys that the Dolphins might want to consider looking into, especially to keep all those speedsters, right? Again, it's the Patty Mahomes effect, right? You throw it 50, 60 yards. Tyreek was there. Mecole Hardman was there because they have 4.2 speed. No one's going to cover that. And guess what? When they're like, okay, yep, we can't play man-to-man because they're blowing right by us. Let's go ahead and drop 12 people 12 yards out. Well, that's awesome because now you got another speedster in the chain where you just do a little dump pass and he picks up 20 yards in 4 seconds. So there's a lot of implications there that kind of want to keep a monitor on, especially for the Dolphins. The Jets are going through their struggles now. I don't know if it's a Fields thing or whatnot, but these are guys that, fantasy-wise, might want to hold on to them because they're not getting their starts there. Dallas is a little different because Dak, he's got years left in the tank, but do they groom him to kind of be Dak's replacement or whatnot? But it's very interesting kind of to see how this could blossom out, especially for those teams that are really needing a quarterback. They don't want to risk a high pick on some of these quarterbacks out of the draft. Might look elsewhere where they could get one of those guys cheap and kind of just see what happens, So interesting to sort of think about it.
They could go after, because and I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Packers have done that extremely well over the past years, where they have their backup plan in place. You look from Brett Favre to then Aaron Rodgers to then Jordan Love. Yeah, he struggled the first couple of years, but he's playing, pretty good football. And then you talk about the coach. Is it a coach problem, owner or QB problem? The Jets are, they're 0-7. They're struggling. I think they had a close one. They've lost 2 close ones, if I'm not mistaken. The rest kind of were just them getting their asses kicked. But the owner of the Jets has come out and praised Aaron Glenn, saying that he likes what he's doing, and just completely trashed Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and that there is a QB change coming for the Jets. This is probably going to be announced today because we're recording this on Tuesday, so it comes out on Wednesdays. From what I've read, which is just, it's odd to see that because you signed this guy to a 2-year, I think $40 million deal. I'm thinking that, and I guess now that I say that out loud, it makes sense that you're I mean, it makes sense why you're upset about it. You're 0-7, haven't won a game. His passer rating is like 32.7 through all 7, like for cumulative through all 7 games, which is
Bad.
not very good. Yeah. Tyrod Taylor got in when he was hurt and looked way better. Which is a name.
They deemed Taylor the starter.
Oh, they've officially announced that now?
They did.
I think they announced it earlier today, so he's officially the starter. But again, it could be a situation where it's like Justin Fields, if he's going to ride the bench, ride the pine again, does somebody else take a chance?
Take a shot.
I don't know, because he's shown where he's been fairly accurate. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe it's an Anthony Richardson thing. I'm not really sure. I don't know. So
I feel like Fields is eventually going to run out of chances. Like he's had
1,000%.
3 so far, and he's kind of shit the bed everywhere he's gone. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he needs to switch positions, maybe because he's an athletic dude. He's great at toting the rock, but kind of need to throw the ball down the field.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's great for Garrett Wilson though. If Tyrod Taylor's going to start and play, awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Just can't trust those OSU guys, man. OSU could not quarterbacks. Their wide receivers are fantastic. All up and down, And then speaking of wide receivers, not from OSU, but Mike Evans, unfortunately, broke his collarbone on Monday Night Football. That was a just rough injury to watch. I would like watching Mike Evans. He's had that. He tied the record last year for consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. I thought he was going to go for it and break it this year, but that's unfortunately not going to happen, which, love to see NFL history get broken during our lifetime, but wishing him a speedy recovery. And that just adds to the Buccaneers' woes because Godwin's still out, now with Mike Evans out. Emeka's been dealing with that hamstring thing. He didn't look very good last night. It was just, and Baker was throwing the ball high. And they did have a couple calls that were completely missed in that game. I, bitched about it for the Lions. I'll bitch about it for the Buccaneers. I'll bitch about how bad the refs have been in the NFL this year as a whole. That challenge was very weird. I don't know if you guys saw that, where they challenged the catch. I think Dan Campbell wanted to challenge the spot of the ball,
Right.
but they challenged the catch. So I don't know if that's why they re-looked at it again and said, oh, hey, this is what he actually wanted to challenge. We misunderstood. And that's why they got the challenge. Kind of sketchy, not gonna lie, especially because they got their challenge and their timeout back. I don't really think it would have mattered because of how Baker was throwing the ball. Because they're 3 touchdowns that he missed. The guys were wide open in the end zone, and he just wildly overthrew it. But yeah, it sucks about Mike Evans, especially if you have him in fantasy. Unfortunately,
Yeah, Baker was running for his life last night. It was
a lot of pressure.
Aiden was everywhere. So
yeah, well, and Aleem McNeil was back, and Muhammad, the other DN they have, has been playing really well, and that 17th string secondary that they put together was playing like they were all pro for the past 10 years. I mean, you had D2 guys out there that were just, I can't remember his name, but there was Yasin was one of them. I've seen a bunch of people be like, I'm going to buy his jersey. I'm ordering it right now. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he was from Grand Valley State. And I mean, he was just having a great night, which is just good to see. It's the black uniforms, man. They bring out a different beast.
Yeah, no, the lines look great last night, and it does suck for Mike Evans. You kind of saw him getting carted off, and they were saying it was an upper body injury, like a shoulder. Comes to find out he broke his clavicle, and he also has a concussion. So
yeah,
I think they carted him off so he wouldn't fall and injure that worse. But yeah, hopefully he comes back next year. I know he's getting on the older side. So
he's 31, so it's possible, depending on how bad it is. It might be his last year next year. He might not come back. I hope he does.
Yeah.
But Fish sent me something earlier this week, which was really weird. Flip sports here a little bit, go into the hockey realm because hockey's also in full swing. Thank the Lord. More sports are better. I know that the little shooty hoops one starts tonight as we're recording it. Don't care. It's fine. You look at a guy wrong, you get a foul. Whereas in hockey, you beat the shit out of somebody and spend 5 minutes in a box and then come out and do it again. It's a great sport. Go watch it if you haven't. But the KHL, which is the Continental Hockey League, it's a league over in Russia. It's one of the semi-pro leagues. They have banned a referee for life because of a missed. He called a goal on a puck that went in. There was a hole in the net, and it went in from the outside. So he thought it was a goal, called a goal. They have VAR, as most sports do nowadays, and they extinguished the lamp, said no goal. There was a hole, doesn't count. It's an interesting call because, in a game that's as fast as hockey is, even in these semi-pro leagues, that's why they have the VAR. That's why they've had, I think, goal replay since the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be very wrong on that. But depending on how fast that shot was, especially if it was the line judge that called it, or even if it was the guy behind the net, if the angle that it came in at, if he's on the left side behind it, it'll hit the right side. A life ban's weird. It's interesting. We see missed calls all the time. I think back, going to baseball with umpires, one that stings, that you guys might remember with Jim Joyce, Armando Galarraga. This was before they had the review and before they had the challenge. It literally cost the man a perfect game. He even came out and said it was wrong. I don't think he got a ban or anything. Mistakes happen. I don't know. I was talking to my therapist who does college baseball, and they have the StatCast where, they grade you, or they show you the percentages of calls you missed, calls you got right via strike and ball. And the umpires use that all the time to get better and see, okay, I'm missing low and outside. I need to work on calling those better. Give the guy a chance. I get it's pro hockey, but lifetime ban for one call is weird.
If he's done if he's missed multiple calls before, because you're right, that one-off mistake, you should not be banned for that.
Yeah,
especially if there's a malfunction with the equipment, like a hole in the net that the puck can go through. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. I hadn't heard about that until you guys were sending that around. So
yeah, Fish sent it to both of us. I think it was last Wednesday, maybe. I don't know. It was after we'd recorded last week's show, so didn't get a chance to talk about it on there. But
probably just didn't
wanted to bring that up.
Hockey,
dude, you need to watch it. It's such a good sport. You would like it. It's so fun.
I'll watch hockey with you if you watch basketball with me.
I've watched basketball before. That's the thing. I've watched it. I would watch early 2000s basketball 100%. Let's put some reruns on. Oh, and there was a little bit, you were allowed to be a little more physical, I don't know. I like physicality in my sports, I guess.
Makes sense.
They're skilled. They're talented athletes. Do not get me wrong. I will admit that, they are very talented athletes with how much they run, how much, how high they can jump. Shooting a basketball is very technical, it's a very high skill thing to do. It just doesn't interest me. Just doesn't.
I don't like
I'll watch college basketball though.
I can't follow the puck. It's too small. Too small, too fast. I have no idea who has it. They need to shade it. They need to get a little, like they do in the NHL games.
Oh my god!
Hey, the puck's here. It's right here. But anyways, Fish, what kind of news do you have, buddy?
I know we'll go back to a different sport this time. The Blue Jays did advance. They beat the Mariners. It was a damn good series. Unfortunately, they ended up winning. Like to see Seattle kind of get in there. It's kind of almost a little Cinderella story. But Zoltowski, I believe that they do play the Dodgers, right? This is the final.
They play the Dodgers. Dodgers are back again. Shohei Ohtani is out there being a freak of nature. I think he hit a game where he pitched and hit. He went 3 for 3 with 3 home runs and struck out 10 batters, which had never, ever been done before. He's the second dual position player since Babe Ruth to strike out a player and hit a home run. And I think he's the only one that's ever done that in the same game.
Creative player.
Really brings the question in, though, to a salary cap in baseball, because his contract is a $700 million 10-year deal, which they made it all back this year, by the way, in revenue. The Dodgers organization did, which is also insane. But yeah, Seattle actually has never made a World Series, and they're the only team that's never been there. So I would have loved to see them get them, especially after they eliminated the Tigers. You always root for the team that knocks your team out.
Yeah, so you can say you lost to the best team.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, I mean, Game 7 series are always fantastic. Who can complain about more sports?
No, I was watching the late Monday night game last night, the Seahawks, and it seemed like every person in the stadium had their phone out watching the baseball game as well.
Oh yeah,
especially because coast.
Yeah, because it started the Mariners Blue Jays game started at 8:10, and the Seahawks game was at 10, so it was probably like in the later innings.
Yeah,
and they lost by 1 run. I think the Blue Jays hit a grand slam to go up 4-3, and then they just played well. I didn't unfortunately watch it because I was watching football.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the announcer was for the Seahawks game last night, but Seahawks last night. But he said there was a collective breath leaving the stadium, like a sigh of disappointment, and they couldn't figure out why. And it comes to find out some dude on the other team hit 3 home runs or hit 3 batters in off of a home run. So
yeah, grand slam.
I don't know if
you don't know baseball,
slam, but
yeah, you don't know baseball either.
I don't really.
This guy, man.
Talk about physicality. There's no physicality in that game.
I don't know. It's more interesting, especially now with the pitch clock. Baseball's America's pastime, buddy. That one I get a pass on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen a play at the plate either, though, when, the catcher's trying to stop the runner and they just collide, so there is physicality in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they used to do that. Not anymore.
When they used to charge the mound after they'd get beaned.
They do everything. So, a couple other little bits of news, Eagles related. Brandon Graham is coming back, rejoining them. Sometimes you wish a player would just stay retired. He is old. He looked sluggish last year. Look, it's your final year. You win the Super Bowl. You achieve the max goal. Just stay retired. I know he was trying to jump at the bit. Same thing with Jason Kelsey to come back. Brother, it's okay. At this point, though, I'm okay with it. We had J.R. Smith, I believe, retire midway through the season, which he's a quitter. Whatever. It is what it is. I think that they need that veteran presence in the locker room, especially on defense for that D-line. There's a lot of missing pieces. I can't say it enough. I miss Mekhi Becton. That O-line is not the same. You do have your guys, but now we have a lot of younger captains kind of step up, which is great, right? We're building for that next generation of talent. But on the defensive side, especially for the D-line, it's tough not to have that guy that's going to kind of light everybody up. And he was that very vocal guy in the D line. He would always talk shit, but then also kind of recollect, gain everybody. Same thing with Fletcher Cox. He was kind of that drill sergeant, kind of, hey, let's focus. Brandon Graham was the guy talking shit to the other guy, and then both of them in tandem were very, very good. So hopefully that kind of help with the young guys. We got Hunt back there, and Nolan Smith kind of coached those guys in those leadership positions. I hope he doesn't come back the following year. I think enough is enough, but we do need that guy in there. So hopefully kind of level set, kind of get him some playing time like they did last year, but more be that vocal. Hey, let's focus here. This is what we need to do. I've been playing in the league since I was 10, kind of thing. So that's good news. Unfortunately, to kind of end this one, I think it's more of a tribute. The OG players, the OGs. Fantasy, the OGs that watch football. This is hurtful news. We hate talking about this, but it is very, very important for us, to us, about us. Unfortunately, the muscle hamster, Doug Martin, has passed entirely way too young. He was the running back for the Buccaneers. Very, very good. Very, very tough to bring down. Very, very solid running back. Unfortunately, we got the news the other day that he had passed unexpectedly. Don't know the details about it. Still need to look into it, but it does seem like his house was broken into. Don't know if there was complications with that or if something else had happened that might have been unrelated. But I do feel like we talked about a lot of passings in football and other big names, celebrities and such that we grew up watching as a kid, and playing with him in Madden for a lot of these football players and baseball players and such like that. So it's tough to talk about, but I think needs to be done. But unfortunately, RIP to Doug Martin. Sad news. So hopefully him and his family, well, his family, is mourning, and hopefully we can kind of get past it on a positive note and just remember the positive things about him and all the great things he did on and off the football field. So tough there, but yeah, I felt like we needed to kind of bring it up.
All-time nickname. Muscle hamster. Can't
Very much.
All-time nickname.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. R.I.P. Doug
That's
Martin.
always, yeah, it's always sad when those, like you said, playing with those guys in Madden, and when they go, it's just it's sad. These are a lot of people like to complain about how much money the NFL players make, but I mean they're so fun to watch. Especially if you're rooting for that team, even if you're not a fan of that team, there's always one guy on the like another second favorite team, the Bengals. Like love watching Joe Burrow play. I'll admit it. He's fun to watch. We haven't thrown. We might have thrown shady. We do it like every week. It's gotta happen. Come on.
Yeah.
For me, I know whenever the time comes when Barry Sanders goes, I'll be very upset. Thinking about even in other sports, hockey and baseball, when those guys go, guys you watch growing up, and like I want to do that someday. They were your idols. Maybe you had their jersey or you had their. So the fat heads. You guys remember fat heads? Remember those things? I had a Brian Urlacher fat head when I was a kid because he was a beast of a middle linebacker, and I wanted to be a
Lions fan.
Yeah, I know, but I was a Brian Urlacher fan as well.
Fun fact with that, right? The fat heads. I mean, it was a big thing back when we were kids. Peyton Manning had a fat head, but they just used his normal head. So it's just, that was the craziest shit I ever read. It's crazy. So, kind of bring a little lightness to the movement.
Oh yeah. But one other, I guess brighter piece of news. We talked about players passing Demaryius Thomas, DT for the Broncos. They inducted him into their Ring of Honor against the Giants. They scored 33 fourth quarter points to win at 33-32, and he was 33 years old when he passed. You can't tell me that there's not some sort of connection there, that he wasn't watching over his team that day.
He was blocking those extra points. He was getting in there.
He was getting in there. But it's things like that make you really think about everything going on in the world. Just have fun and watch some football. So.
Not to be a downer, but we do have to talk about the fantasy zeros after the uplifting speech you just gave there.
It's fine.
I got a few.
So we'll quickly go
You've
over
covered
these.
mine.
I'll list mine. Cam Little, again, he's off the roster.
God, yeah.
Darren Waller, he's been balling out. I was hoping for rather kind of weak against tight ends, so I was like, maybe he'll score a touchdown. No, he did get hurt, but no. Ashton Genty looked rough, as the entire Raiders team have. And tell me if you've heard this name before on this Fantasy Zeros list. Breece Hall. Free that man. Get him off the Jets. Trade him to Kansas City. They need a running back. He needs to get off the Jets. It's a match made in heaven.
No, don't send him anywhere but Kansas City.
They don't need him in Kansas City. They got Rice back.
Yeah.
He ran it in for a touchdown, so they clearly don't need a running back.
And Kansas City's running backs kind of look decent this week. But anyways.
Pacheco had like 12 points. He's moving up.
Fish, I'm going to touch on one of your zeros. I know you were going to bring up Emeka Egbuka, or as Rob Gronkowski likes to call him, Egbuha or something like that. Anyways.
It's just wild pronunciation.
I think he was used as a decoy this week because he was targeted 12 times, but I don't know. I think Baker just threw it to him because he didn't have any other place to go after Mike got hurt. So I wouldn't worry too much about Emeka yet. I mean, he's the rookie of the year. For crying out loud.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But what are some other guys you got, Fish?
So I've got my usual run here. Justin Fields, we talked about him earlier, has been benched. It's just like some days he does well and hits 27 fantasy points, and then others consecutively hits four. Kind of screwed me in one of my leagues. Had to start him. Figured what's the worst that could happen? At least get 12 points. I think I lost by five. He had four. So I
Oof.
don't want to. It's just we were green in a lot of leagues, and then we're red in a few. So quickly, JMO. Again, we talk about the Lions. They got so many weapons. He only had two targets for zero catches. I know Gibbs does his thing, but I also want to touch on another Lions player who's also equally disappointing. Montgomery
Hmm.
for the tandem duo that they have for running back. I know feed the hot hand, but at this point it's just like the Eagles. If you have Gibbs and/or Amon St. Brown, that's it. You start both of them. If you have anyone else, it's either 30 points or zero. It's
Hmm.
just very frustrating with such a high powered offense is going to put up 30 points a week. You figure at least get 80 yards, something. They can't get anything going. Very wishy washy.
I
Um,
I comment real quick on Montgomery. I think a lot of that is when he comes on the field, teams know what he does, and they're just loading the hell out of the box.
Yeah.
Um, but when they throw him the ball, because he's also a very good pass catching back. Nutter, your stutters are wearing off on me. Um,
I've never
and I think
stuttered
they
in
need
my
to get
life.
they need to get him more of that going. Because he's great in open space as well. And he's great at catching the ball. And also, I would like the 1 point per catch because it's more than the point two or point two that I get for the 2 yards that he gets per rush. So that's my thoughts on that.
yeah, why don't you send it to the commissioner that way we'll go ahead and get it figured out. So, a couple other notable guys I want to touch on: McCaffrey, Luke, Luke McCaffrey, um, had been deemed the number one receiver for Washington. We know that they have been struggling offensively to try and get anything going. It's almost night and day compared to what they were doing last year. They were consistently putting up 30 plus points. This year, they have found themselves struggling both offense and defense. Jaden Daniels has done well, but with Debo being there, him being like, a little hurt, can't play today. Luke finally gets his show to step in the number one role and has failed, especially against a very, very much struggling defense in Dallas who has their spurts, but everyone runs and catches everything over them, so they have to rely on putting up 40 points a week, which they do now with CD back, which is dangerous. But Luke has failed. I know a lot of people kind of made that last minute switch, especially a couple guys that I played against this week. They're like, yeah, number one guy, cool, great, good quarterback throwing. Did not do well there. Kenny Walker has made the list. I know we talk about him as well. The interesting thing is he is getting the volume appropriately for number one running back. Is doing very, very well with the yards and carries that he has been getting. We've seen a lot of good consistency, 4+ rushing yards per attempt, which is great. That's what you want your number one running back. Unfortunately, it seems like the Seahawks are not completely sold on just giving him the free reins, the three down bell cow. Uh, Charbonnet is still carving in, especially on goal line attempts and passing within the 10. I think he robbed him of 2 touchdowns this past week,
Yes.
which, again, if you're starting a Seahawks guy at this point, you have to start both of them. One of them is going to get a touchdown, the other guy is going to get 40, 50 yards. Both of them are not going to be viable if you're going to start one and take a gamble on it. He has made that list just for that. Touchdowns just aren't there. The volume is, the yards are, touchdowns are not, and it's affecting his gameplay. Couple other names I want to talk about on the defensive side, though. Defensive side. Uh, People that we don't talk about too often, especially for IDPs. Most people play with just teams, special teams, defensive player, teams in general. Great. For the more in-depth players, most of our leagues that we have converted, except for Tony's league, Tony gave it the program. IDPs, we're talking about a couple here. Olukun for the Jags has been very, very consistent with putting up 10 plus points. Again, these are points based off of tackles, pass deflections, tackle for a loss, assisted, sacks, so on and so forth. He got 2 tackles and 1 pass deflection this week, which is very, very uncharacteristic of him. He has had a down week, especially being the tackle leader. I think he was top 3 in the league last year. He is very, very much not having a great season this year. Very up and down. Usually you can see him consistently get 10 to 15 range point wise. It's not great, especially with the Jags. The offense is doing decently, so you figure their defense has to rely on it being on the field a little bit more, which they've done, but it's just the play's not there. And then another guy I want to talk about for Denver, very good defense. Benito has popped off recently. Seen a lot of people pick him up just based off the last few weeks that he's done. Has been very, very good. He also only had 2 tackles and 1 quarterback hit, so I think that was about 4 points there. Again, one of those guys where if you have an IDP, there's a plethora of them out there. Typically, you go for the linebackers because they get the most value out of tackles. They can push back in coverage and such. But I started both of them in one league and got mollywopped by my opponent who started, I think, Campbell for the Lions, who popped off for 20 points. So situations like that where you kind of rely on those IDPs to get you at least 10 plus points to kind of make up for the JMO or the Justin Fields or the Kenny Walker who didn't get the 15, 20 points. 9 times out of 10, if you have 2 bad IDPs that don't perform, that week might be a wash unless you have a Bo Nix or somebody that pops off. So those are my guys to kind of round out for the fantasy zeros for this week.
Excuse me, sorry.
Right in the mic.
It came on strong. Been trying to mute it here. Missed it. Calm down. I'll talk about my guys now. You guys touched on definitely ones that I wanted to put up there.
In the week, huh?
What?
Huh? Go ahead.
Look, I've lost in both leagues for like the past 3 weeks. We're getting upset, and the one reason is because Saquon Barkley is on the list. He has made the list. I think I should have put him on him there last week. Thing that sucks is the passing game for the Birds is really starting to kind of blossom finally, which I know you're very happy about, Fish. We can talk about that later. Hey, last year if you had Saquon, he's a guaranteed start. This year should still be a guaranteed start. 5.2 points, 18 carries, 44 yards, one catch on 1 target for -2 yards. It's just the running game in Philly. It started off decently strong the first 3 weeks, and now it's just kind of tapered. It's not there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're just loading the box on him. Hopefully this passing game. Go for it.
I want to touch on that. So the reason why the Saquon has not been super successful, right? Especially fantasy implications wise, this is a perfect time to kind of buy low. Most people deemed him top 3 picks, especially if you're in a redraft, so on and so forth, expecting those 20-point games like he did last year, right? He's very consistent. This year, he's maybe averaging 8. This is a perfect example to take the gamble. You can get him fairly cheap. He is getting older. He's got plenty left in the tank, though, on a really good offense. 2 things, the reason why his production has been so low. The offensive line has been very, very hurt. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens just went out. Lane Johnson was out. There's a lot of, especially with the new coordinator, so 3 things. The O-line being very, very hurt has been an issue. New coordinator, obviously everybody's to get used to their system. Kellen Moore did incredibly well. He goes, okay, yep, I know who we have to get it to. The 3 main guys, Smith, Brown, Saquon. Cool, awesome. It's not the same thing until play calling changes. They complain, they bitch about Jalen's not a passer. Well, then the following week we go in and we throw it 1,000 times. We don't run it. Expect the same thing. Oh, well, Saquon doesn't get enough touches. This week we'll probably run it 100 times and throw it 3 times. So we don't know what we're doing, right? The other thing is that majority of the time, whenever Saquon gets the ball in the backfield, he is immediately hit in the backfield. Mm-hmm. If we look at the difference between last year and this year, he had time to kind of get set, look for that hole, and then shoot. We know he's very, very explosive. He hasn't had time this year because of that O-line's been so hurt. So if you can see when we do the handoffs or pitches, there's already one guy that's already hit him 3-4 yards in the backfield. So now he has to stop, re-get set, dodge that guy, and then try and do anything. That's why we've seen a lot more of him spinning initially as soon as he gets that line to try and throw that first guy off to try and break away. That's the reason why that we haven't seen production out of Saquon. It's because that O line is very, very hurt. So again, fantasy wise, take a gamble. I'm thinking about doing it as one more bad week. See what happens. But sorry, Zoltowski. I just want to let you know.
No. That's perfect. That's hey, you're an Eagles fan. Yeah, I know. We'll go and watch them. You pay more attention to the Eagles game than any of the other games we have on. I completely get that. I appreciate the input, buddy. It just sucks. I start him every week. Because it's Saquon. How am I not going to start Saquon?
Right.
He's playing. Minnesota, who. Their run defense, Bijan ran all over Minnesota. I'm like, oh, sweet. He's going to pop off for 200 yards. This is going to be his breakout game.
Yep.
I'm going to get 40 points. And he drops 5.2. I was pissed.
I'd like to give Fish his props there. That was a very adult way to talk about your new offensive coordinator that I know that you do not like right now.
Kevin Matula's ass. He's ass.
Look, he
so
gets engaged,
bad.
turns over a new leaf. I got one more guy on my list, and then we can get into the heroes, thankfully. We talk about the good guys that we really like and we're really excited about. But George Kittle, I know a lot of people are really excited. He's coming off IR. Yes, the 49ers are hurt, but they've still been playing very well, even though they've been hurt. Kittle's back. He's gonna be the number one. He's gonna be Mac Jones's guy. He dropped a big old goose egg the other day. They still got the win. San Francisco is, I think, stole some of the Chiefs' black magic that they have. But, I know a lot of people were excited about him. I don't have him in any leagues.
I do.
But when you see, yeah.
I do, but I didn't start him.
You had a hunch, didn't you?
I started him, Darren Waller, and Cam Little on a league together.
How bad did you lose?
I lost.
Real bad.
I know that.
But, again, a ton of people were excited to finally rip him off the IR. Hey, my tight end one's back. I know I can put him in there. He's going to get the ball. He's a big guy. He catches the ball well. He shakes off contact. It just sucks for him to drop a big old goose egg for you. First game back.
Which is very interesting, right? Because the 49ers, they feed Kittle, right? Their offense is
they fed Jake Tongs. Dongs. When he was filling in, they were feeding him. They feed their tight end.
But then also look who's throwing. Mac Jones came for the Patriots. They always threw the tight ends. It was almost a guarantee that Hunter Henry was going to get something.
They still do.
It's
guys
just,
remember Rob Gronkowski?
I do.
The other guy that we shouldn't probably talk about, but he was also a pretty good football player.
Who do you mean?
Yeah. Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
I just wanted to say.
You want to bleep that out, or I think Kittle will be fine going forward, but it's just one of those weird things. But good to see whatever surgeries McCaffrey Christian got in Germany. It seems to be working out pretty well because that man has done incredible things.
Yep.
Did you see that?
His skeleton's animanium now, dude. He is out there.
Yeah.
200 yards total over. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
Well, under the good stuff, right? The fantasy heroes.
I'm gonna go first.
Kick it. You want to go first?
I'm gonna go first.
That's all. Guys.
God.
Quinshon Judkins is my fantasy hero. He was projected 15.94 points into a 26.4, but most importantly, he was the entire offense for the Browns. Now, their defense played great. Dylan Gabriel didn't make a mistake. He was out there just taking up space, it seems like, but Quinshon, best running back in the league as for rookies, as rookies are concerned. So I love that he's on our team. It just feels who's better? You're gonna say Genty?
No, God no.
You're gonna say Scadavo, aren't you?
Yeah. What's
so.
Scadavo?
Experiment 626 out there.
Hey, put a poll up.
That'd be a good one. That's a really good argument right there.
Would you rather have Quinshon or Scadabo?
Oh, give me the CTE machine all day.
Yeah, at least for
that man.
at least for a couple years.
Limited time, but man, he's making the most of it.
He's Peyton Hillis 2.0, dude. I swear.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Quinshon. I'm thrilled he's on my team. I'm glad we finally have some sort of offense going forward. You know, the Browns have always been a run-first organization, and it's because we don't have anyone to throw the ball. But I digress. He opens up the Stefanski offense so much more because we can run play action now. We can do different things. We can send, Harold Fannin on a different route, or we can make Jerry Jeudy, if he could catch a ball, do a double move, give him some time, because they got to respect the run now. It's great. Open things up for Dollar General Dylan Gabriel. I can't wait to see what happens next week when we play the Patriots. We're going to lose that game, but I still can't wait to see what happens.
You had to check, by the way.
I did. Because I know we play the Jets soon, so maybe 3-7 at that point.
Maybe the Jets get their first win of the year. You never know. Maybe they trade for Shador and he pops off and just flips off the entire Cleveland Brown sideline.
That's another name you could. I don't know. That's
interesting.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Fish, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go over my fantasy hero.
Yeah, take it away, man.
Yeah, and then you could talk about the guys they throw to. I'm gonna go with Jackson Dart this week. He's been playing very well. He's projected to get 14.98 points. Got 29.42, 15 for 33 with 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 carries for 11 yards with 1 rushing touchdown. They lost that game. Sucks. Kicker, but that's not on Jackson Dart. They went out there and they put up 32 points. The Giants team that we counted out really early in the year. And he's missing his number one. He's missing Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is not there. He is hurt for the rest of the year, and he's making it work, man. I mean, the accuracy could be a little bit better. I don't know if it was playing in Denver, what it was, but he's leading that offense. This Giants team, they look way better than they did last year. Yeah, they lost the game, but it was at least close. They weren't getting blown out. And he's even able to use his legs. He's mobile. I think he's hit a 15 and a 20-yard rush for a touchdown this year already, if I remember correctly. But this is a team we thought was in full rebuild mode. I remember saying, week 5, they'll trot him out there and he'll get his chance, and he's taking advantage of it. Well, I was a week early. I was wrong by 1 week, but I'll take it. But yeah, he looks good. I haven't started him yet, and I finally am, because I've been a little leery. I didn't know if it was, that initial first game luck. But after last week and this week, I'm confident I'm going to start him going forward, especially over CJ. CJ's just been kind of up and down.
No, I think it's a great pick. You were right. I mean, I didn't think that they'd play him this year, and if they did, I didn't think he'd have this success just because they brought in Wilson and then they also signed Jameis. I thought Jameis would play before Jackson Dart, but he's been unreal, and I feel like Dable put him in early because he knew if this doesn't work out, he would have to find a new job. So he might as just well put all of his chips on the board and put Jackson Dart in. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, watching him in preseason and the first few weeks when he was on the sideline, I mean, he looked really good in preseason. Which, again, say what you will about preseason, but then during the first couple weeks when he's sidelined, he's out there, like, he's practicing calling plays. He's like actively learning on the sidelines. Like, he's trying to be a better quarterback from day one. And I really liked what I saw. I'm excited for him, excited for the Giants to finally not be the trash of New York. I think that might belong to the Jets, might have belonged to the Jets for the past couple of years, but if they can get the defense figured out, watch out, NFC East.
I don't know about that, but
I don't know about that, man. That's a little.
He did carve up a pretty good defense. I mean, the Broncos' defense is.
Yeah, you got PS2
one
there.
Of the best, dude.
Yeah.
That was very good. Yeah, I think
props to him.
Bedito was there or whatever. He didn't do shit. So
he got schemed on. He is tied,
I
or he
think-
is third in the league for sacks. Benito.
Yeah. But
Not this past week.
I understand.
I think Fish is upset. I think we should let him not be upset and talk about his fantasy heroes, plural.
Yeah, fantasy heroes. We kind of touched on it earlier. I know that the passing game has been a very, very pivotal point for the Eagles. We don't want to keep talking about our teams, but it's kind of tough to ignore, especially when we know that AJ Brown is a great receiver. Smith is a great receiver. We've seen Goddard have a lot of success last year, and especially going into this year, he was tight end 3 for a while, just getting an overwhelming amount of points and doing well. But announcers, analysts, commentators, everybody comments of what's the point of having 2 dominant receivers and do nothing with them? There's a few weeks where AJ only got 4 targets. That one game, he didn't have a catch until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. I don't know what's going on. It's in typical fashion of the fans. Everybody complains about it, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and throw it the entire time." My heroes, and unfortunately, I played against them in several leagues. It's got to go to Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. Smith was only projected 12.505 points, which is, again, he's wide receiver 2. Brown, same thing. Typically, those high end receivers are going to have those average points, about 12. Brown was also projected 12.73 points. Smith ended with 9 receptions on 11 targets, which is, I think, an all time high this year for him, for 183 yards and a touchdown. Brown finished a little moderately lower, 4 receptions on 6 targets, uncharacteristic of him. But those opportunities that he kind of showcased it. He caught that first touchdown, very little beautiful route, ran it in for 121 yards and 2 tutties. Smith ended up finishing with 33.3 points and Brown 28.10. It's about time. Unfortunately, don't expect this to happen every week. I know last year was a little bit more common where we saw AJ kind of be a little bit more consistent, but with averaging around 15 to 17 points. Smith kind of took the bench. He would pop off for 20, but then kind of live around that 8 to 10 range. But it's good to see that the announcers and everybody were doubting Hurts's deep ball capabilities. I know last week he missed AJ on a deep one. Week before that, he gave up, missed Smith on an easy 80-something yard touchdown last week against the Giants. But this week he was deadly accurate. I think he only missed 4 passes. He had a Jared Goff game where it didn't matter what range, short, medium, distance, he was hitting those targets. It's a good trend to see with, arguably one of the teams that they're expecting to go back to the Super Bowl. It's a good trend to see where we kind of had the same commonalities last year of we started off hot, then struggled for a few games, and then went on a 10-game win streak. So this is good for me. We're seeing all kinds of. I've joined all the Facebook groups and such like that, and we kind of we miss one completion. We want the guy's head on a stick. Then we throw a deep pass, and he's the greatest, God's gift and stuff. So it's good to kind of see everything kind of like unravel, see the passing game saying, oh yeah, we can't actually pass. We've done that twice this year so far. We just need to get the run game. Hopefully O-line can kind of stay healthy, give Saquon that yard or 2 to kind of get to that O-line and then boost up. So defense, I'm still very, very happy with. Relatively speaking on that end, there's a lot of things that Van Gio is working with the younger guys, but this game in particular was a big one because I know we let go of Isaiah Rodgers. He went to the Vikings. They thought, he's had an incredible year so far. Isaiah played like he did last year with us and got absolutely torched by both these guys. So it was almost kind of like that reverse revenge game. But those are my heroes. Unfortunately, I played against them in a few leagues and they ended up bringing home the win for those other guys. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, but on to this week, I guess. So those are my heroes, Smith and Brown.
Great picks. 2 players.
Dose. I typically don't like to pick one. There's so many heroes, and
Man, I hate to be the guy that has to do the graph or the graphics for these.
I'll pick a whole team next time if I have to.
Jesus. Let's pick a whole defense.
But let's get into our starts of the week for week 8.
Yep.
I have week 5 on the dock. I guess I've never updated it. That's my bad, boys. I'm going to start off here. I'm going to pick on the Dallas Cowboys defense again. The Broncos are hitting their stride. You know, they're finally hitting their stride, winning their last 4 games, including that incredible comeback that we alluded to earlier against New York Giants. This week they do face the Cowboys. The Cowboys, as we know, they have a high-powered offense. Their issue is that defense. They are much like the Bengals of last year with a healthy Joe Burrow. They have to score 40-plus points to even be in the game. They're second to last in rush yards allowed and dead last in pass yards allowed. They've allowed the 3rd most points in the league thus far at 29.4 per game. I kind of went through the options for the Broncos receivers last night, and I found something interesting that kind of led me to this player. So Evan Ingram is going to be my start of the week. It just happens to fall on tight end day, so whatever you want to make of that. But in the past 4 weeks, Ingram has been much more involved in the offense, having no less than 6 targets in the beginning of the year. I believe he had 2 targets in week 2. He missed week 3. And then in week 1, he had 4 targets. Week 4, he had 7. Week 5, he had 6. Week 6, he had 6. Week 7, he had 8. So he's been getting a lot more involved. He's been getting on the field more. His snap percentage is up as well. And I think that what the Broncos are able to do is they're able to get him the ball a little bit more when he's playing so well. And I think it's leading to a lot of their success. So they've got Cortland Sutton out there. He's a beast. We all know that. Troy Franklin kind of dropped the ball last week. Literally, he was kind of rough for them. Marvin Mims is always a sneaky play. So I think you could really start any of these guys, but the guy I'm going to lean on this week is going to be Evan Ingram. I think they're going to get the ball down the field, and he's going to get a couple red zone targets. He could see a touchdown, and I think he's definitely going to see the target volume that you're going to need to at least, if you don't have a tight end spot, at least play him as a flex position. So Evan Ingram, my start of the week. I'm excited to see what he does against that rough Dallas defense.
I like the pick, right? Because kind of like what you said, right? You go through the list of receivers that Denver has, right? You have Cortland Sutton, who's a lock. He's the number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now we're looking at teams that are like, oh, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and shut down Sutton, and then who else are you gonna throw it to? Franklin struggled a little bit. Mims, he's either boom or bust. Bo Nix is gonna have to rely on someone else to throw to, especially if Cortland Sutton double covered, right? What other better person? Because RJ Harvey has not proven has not proven to be that speedster pass catching back. J.K. Dobbins has done really, really well with that offense there, but those 2 guys aren't going to be that safety valve. We keep talking about safety valves, right? Who's your number 1 safety valve typically going to be? It's going to be your tight end. We've seen that with Jake Ferguson over the middle, Laporta when Goff has 1,000 people to throw to, because it's sure as hell not J-Mo, right? You look at Bo has done very, very well getting the tight ends the ball over the years, right? Evan Ingram has plenty left in the tank. We saw that with the Jags. He was very, very successful there. With that guy with the long hair, is just not the starting quarterback. The guy's just not, he's washed. He's not great. Evan Ingram, I think, is a sneaky play. I really do. I like this. This is
another sneaky start.
I like it because Colin Sutton, he'll get his catches, he'll get his yards, he may get a touchdown, but he's going to get locked up because teams are going to scheme against that. Great guy over in the middle that's going to be athletic, that can get yards after the catch. It's not going to be a Jake Ferguson catch and sit down. Evan Ingram, he's got good speed still. It's a good pick. I like it. I like that one. Yeah. Might be the best pick of the week, to be honest.
It might be your best pick so far.
Hey,
other than your layup.
Tez was pretty.
Tez was
a
good.
good one.
I wish I would have started him. I picked him up and then I got kind of nervous.
I told you.
Because I saw. Well, it's because Emeka and Mike Evans were both playing, which is why I didn't.
He got nervous because you said you would start it.
And that too.
That's what it was.
No, I like it. I have Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, and Cortland Sutton all on one team, and the boys. Cortland Sutton's the start every week. He got 10 targets. Troy Franklin got 10 targets. He only caught the ball 3 times. However, he still got 12.9 points, 19 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 2-point conversion. And then Marvin Mims is very much boom or bust fish. You're 100% right there. I don't know what's going on with him. But last year he was fantastic. But they throw the ball a lot. The Broncos have become an air raid team. Their running game has been, who is their running back over there?
JK.
Yeah, I think it's
JK
and RJ Harvey.
Sorry, you said that. I was looking up the numbers. I'm sorry. I was looking up numbers. I was on sleeper. I won't lie to you. But JK's always been kind of up and down. That run game really hasn't been there. I like this pick. Safety valve, great pick. Probably your best one of the year. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
We're on a little streak. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
With that being said, don't start him. Now that Nutter picked him, don't start him.
Yeah. Troy Franklin's going to catch every ball. Marvin Mims is going to just pop off again.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton's going to go for 8,000 yards.
And they very well could. That could definitely happen.
Yeah.
Dallas's defense is bad.
Yeah. Bo Nix is looking good too, just like he did last year. But I'm going to hop into mine because I also am going with the tight end this week, and I didn't realize remember that was tight end day. I did this before you put that in the doc, so I'm kind of glad I did.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with the guy from Cincinnati, Nutter's second favorite team, Noah Fant. So they're playing the Jets at home. The Jets are terrible. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. Everyone sees it. 0-7, haven't won a game. And Joe Flacco found something against the Steelers, and if he can keep that up, I know Jamar and T are there. But again, that safety valve, Noah Fant last week went 4 for 4 and a tutty. So, that red zone, they definitely double, triple covering T and Jamar. He's right there. Chase Brown's been very, very up and down. Gesicki's on IR, so he's the tight end one out there. They got him from Seattle. I don't think Seattle signed him again, or they traded him. I can't remember what happened. But he's a solid pick. Flacco's experience, he knows how to go through his reads, especially because he has more time to throw the ball. I just don't know if Cleveland knew what they were doing. Something's in the water at Cincinnati right now.
100%. Don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So his Flacco looked like almost like he was on the Ravens.
Again, it's a little different when you're throwing to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, opposed from Tillman.
I think Jamar had 23 targets and 16 catches, and T also had in the teens targets.
Yeah, I played against him a couple times still. It was a fun week.
Yeah, but I think Noah Fant easily, start him, especially because they're playing the Jets. So a lot of tight end picks lately for me.
I like it.
No, I like the Noah Fant pick a lot. Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference with Flacco between the Browns and the Bengals is how quickly he's able to get the ball out there. Now, we always talked about how bad the Bengals offensive line was. If he's getting the ball out in 2 seconds, there's not many defensive ends that are going to be able to get to him. Mm-hmm. So, Zach Taylor, kudos to him. That's what they're scheming up. They're getting those guys open, and they're able to get the ball out. Joe can spin it and put a pin in it and just get the ball wherever it needs to go. He just needs the time or the scheme to do so, and that's not what he was getting in Cleveland. So I like the pick. I do. I like it a lot.
All right, Fish, floor is yours.
My turn. So I also didn't know that it was tight ends week. So in honor of tight end week, I have gone with a receiver. I thought about picking Tyler Warren, but he's just such a default. Just hey, you've got Tyler Warren, just start the guy. Don't even look the other way. I'm going to go with the receiver who also is kind of a sneaky peek. We talked about him earlier this year. He's kind of been a back case The last couple teams that he's played with, he had a lot of hype on one, went to another one. It's just he's getting older. He's got an ego. Everybody's like, he's kind of washed. Um, he has found a new home in the Patriot system. He is their number one receiver. We talked about Keyshawn Butte, right?
Yeah.
Is that Butte? Butte. We talked about Butte and Demario Douglas. The Patriots have kind of found a run game as of last week. The week before, they had none. Last week, Stevenson decided not to fumble it. I think they called Guinness immediately after the game saying, hey, get into the dockets. This guy's incredible.
I think they put stickum on his gloves or something.
Yeah, it's like Clipper Franklin. It's just it's just like it's sticking all over the place. But I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs. He last few weeks, right? The Patriots have kind of emerged as the passing threat. Their offense have found a little momentum going. They're getting ready, right? We talk about their receivers again. They don't know who their number one is. Stephon Diggs has played there, so I think he's going to go kind of sneaky under the radar. I think Butte has drawn a lot of warrant for schemes and such with his deep ball capabilities. Demario Douglas, same thing, that they're not going to solely focus on Stephon Diggs. Diggs will get his. But over the last 3 games, I know it's 3 games, but over the last 3, he has at least had 6 catches in all 3 games. He has posed for about 344 yards in those games. Now, I know most of that came in the Buffalo game where he racked up 146 yards. Again, that's against Buffalo team that has very, very good defense. The interesting play I like with this, that he's getting the volume. I think he's going to fly under the radar sneakily as a number 1 wide receiver. Also, keep in mind that we're about to enter in bye week hell. He might still be out there on waivers because nobody trusts him, right? The team kind of just now emerged as the passing team. They don't know who their wide receiver 1 is. I need somebody to play. This guy's been on my bench, so I want to start him. He hasn't had a touchdown yet. It's been 7 weeks. They play against Cleveland. Things are kind of pointing. Cleveland's got a really good defense. Things got to point in the right direction of he might get his 1. So I would say my start during bye week hell, if we're talking traditional, right, where we're not going to throw up a Tyler Warren or a Noah Fant or an Evan Ingram, the default guys that we just know they're going to do really, really well because smart people picked them. I'm going to go with more of a sneaky play, take Nutter's approach, and throw out a Stephon Diggs. I don't think the guy has gotten enough love this year. He's kind of gone underneath the radar. You don't hear about him much in the news. He's not on Twitter talking shit. He's not running his mouth. He's not doing whatever off the field stuff. I think this might be the week that no more. I think this might be the week that he gets his touchdown and maybe 50, 60 yards on top of that. I think the volume will be there. He'll probably get another 6 catches. He doesn't have the breakaway speed that he used to have, but now they're kind of utilizing him like they do with Rashee Rice, kind of over the middle possession guy. I think that'll stay true, but I think he'll get his red zone target, and I think Drake May will kind of look for him and make sure that he gets his accolades to go with it. So Stephon Diggs is probably my sneaky start this week, especially during bye week.
Yeah, he's owned in 98% of leagues, so there is a small chance he's on waivers. If not, he's been
very small.
He's not what he used to be. He used to be that guy. Yep, every week start him. Back when he was in Buffalo, and then before he got hurt in Houston, same way I started him every week. But I think he's finally kind of worked his way into the New England offense. He's kind of figured out the scheme there a little bit better. Like you said, he's not talking shit on Twitter. He's not doing off the field antics. He's calmed down a little bit. He went 7 for 7 last week. I like it. I like it a lot. Probably make a trade for him and not have to spend too much if you really need something, or maybe want to take a gamble on a longevity thing here because Drake May also look really good, and the Patriots are looking really good. Happy for you, bosom. So happy for you because I know it was misery last year.
Yeah, the one down year that he had from the 13-year dynasty that he just got off of.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sucks
And
for
then they
him.
get. I like it.
I love you and I respect you as a person,
Oh
but I
god.
hate this pick.
You don't?
I don't think he's going to have a good week. The Browns are 5th best against the pass, and I think that they're getting pretty happy with the way that they're playing on defense. Jim Schwartz is going to be able to scheme something up to lock him down, and I think Denzel Ward's going to be on him most of the game if he stays healthy. And I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I could definitely see him having another like 5-point week. And I hope it doesn't happen because I hope you're right, but
I think
selfishly, I
Boutte is
do
gonna,
hope it does happen. But
I think Boutte is going to draw that attention. Boutte has
Mhm.
been very, very threatening route running wise. I think that Diggs is going to slip underneath the radar.
he
Now,
could.
I'm just letting you know, right? When it happens,
Oh, I know.
you're gonna. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Man, I'm going to be unbearable that week.
And if it
So,
doesn't
hey,
happen, I won't say anything because I know that you'll be mean to me if I do. So
1,000%. It depends on if the Eagles are winning or losing or not. So,
but let's get on to our pick'em, our week 8 pick'em. So make sure I get everything situated here for us. All right, less games today. Obviously, the teams in black and white are on bye, and yes, the Raiders. I did change them to black and white, if you can believe that. They look normal, but they're not. So there's no overseas game this week. They're taking a break. So we have the Thursday night game. Minnesota going into LA to play the Chargers. Chargers are 3.5-point favorites. This game is probably the biggest question mark for me this week.
so
Short week for both teams. Like,
one thing to keep in mind, they've deemed, Carson Wentz as a starter again. So I know if JJ was going to start, I'd probably lean the Chargers, just because JJ has been Boutte as of this year. Wentz played well against the Eagles. He did not have that much time in the pocket, but he's got Jordan Addison, he's got JJ. Jordan Mason. I give me the Vikings for this one. I don't trust the Chargers right now with Marion, with him not there. There's something going on with Justin Herbert. He's had a weird couple weeks.
Zolt, where do you lean?
I think you're right. Yeah, JJ's the emergency backup, so he's QB3 actually. He's just not ready, they say. Carson Wentz has played very well. It's Jay Jettis is down there somewhere. We saw what Sam Darnold did last year, and he, even though he's still finding success, yeah, give me the Vikings. Chargers are banged up. I think Joe Alt's still out. I think they got another O lineman that's missing. Herbert's going through some kind of funk. They've been sliding. Give me a minute. Yeah, Minnesota.
I'm taking the home team. They are favored by 3.5. I'm doing this because I'm so on the fence and I do need to build up ground back against you two to even hope.
Yeah, I don't know what the points are
because
because you guys messed up your picks in Sleeper real bad last week. I know that I went 13-2, Fish went 12-3, and you went 10-5. So you're digging yourself a hole, buddy. I'll tell you that much.
Or I'm digging myself out of a hole. Who knows? But the 1 o'clock games on tight end day itself, we have Miami going into Atlanta for the first game. Atlanta 7.5-point favorites. This one is a no-brainer to me. I'm going with the Falcons.
You want to close that gap a little bit more?
No, not on this game.
Okay, yeah. Give me the Falcons. Bijan's rushing for at least 120.
Yeah, give me the Falcons. Who's the quarterback in Miami? Because Tua can't do it.
It's Tua right now, but I fear that that'll be a change.
Yeah, that's fine
during the game. So next,
it's not going to be Zach Bang Your Mom Wilson. I'll tell you what. So.
Next
so Bengals and Jets, huh?
Jets going into Cincinnati.
Cincinnati
6.5-point favorites. I'm going Bengals here.
You want to close that gap there? Nope, you want to close that gap? All right, go ahead. Hey, give me the Bengals.
Give me the Bengals. Jets are terrible.
Next we have my team, the Browns, going into Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. The Patriots are 6.5-point favorites.
You want to close that? You want to close that gap, don't you?
It's a pretty big spread.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I'll take Pats though, please.
Yep. I'll also
But-
take the Pats.
I may bet the Browns with that spread.
Then they're with the spread. Okay.
With the spread, I might do it.
Okay.
Might do it.
You bet Stefan's going for 120.
Then 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Next we have New York going into the link into Philly. Philly 7.5-point favorites. I'm surprised it's that big of a spread as well. I mean, 2 weeks ago, didn't they beat Philly?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I beat the hell out of them.
They beat the hell out of Philly.
I'm going New York.
Call me crazy, but Brandon Graham's going to come back with his 3 plays a game, and he's going to mollywop Jackson Dart. I'll take Philly on this one.
All right. Zolt.
I'm also going with Philly. They're playing at home. They got a bad taste in their mouth losing to the Giants. It's just, they're finally starting to turn that passing game around, and I think they might actually get the run game going too. But I like Philly. As high as I am on Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo, Philly's playing very well. They're still finding ways to win.
It's true. Next we have Buffalo going into Carolina, 7.5-point favorites. Buffalo on the road. Give me Buffalo. I'm not playing with this one. Although
You sure you don't want to close the gap?
Carolina is undefeated at home.
I kind of want to play with it.
I know, right?
Undefeated at home.
Look, all I'm saying is if he gets goddamn Chubb Hubbard, man, just no. You can't. I understand you're paying him a shit ton of money. Rico, you're paying pennies at this point. At what point do you go, I got to play the hot hand? And he comes up. Question?
Bryce Young is out. Does that change your mind?
Yeah, give me the Bills.
It's Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's the starter.
Yeah, give me the Bills.
Yeah.
I just
So they're gonna load.
that.
They're gonna load the box. I was gonna say that. Give me the Bills. They're
Damn.
coming off the bye too, so
Rico Dowdle going for 28 points now. Got it.
Next we have Chicago going into Baltimore. Baltimore's got a 6.5-point favorite. Is Lamar Jackson back this week? Do we not know? They know something we don't know?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Lamar is back.
He is back. He's projected to
They're
play.
expressing optimism. I'm still taking Chicago whether he's back or not. I hate to say this. But that Ravens defense is a bad, and Chicago's offense, as much shit as I talked, I'll take it back. Caleb looked. They won 4 in a row. Romo Dunze was quiet, or had another decent game. He's been playing well. DeAndre Swift is having his rebound year. I like the Bears as much as I want them to lose because they're in the NFC North. I think they're going to go in and beat Baltimore.
If Lamar plays, I'm definitely going Baltimore.
We can't. You said we can't do this.
Well, right now it's looking like he's going to play, so I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Oh man,
Ride the hot hand on this one. Ride the hot hand, Fish.
If Lamar plays, right? I'm thinking, right? Then Derrick Henry plays. Then Bateman plays. They don't get Zay Flowers the ball.
Don't forget Mark Andrews. Pretty good.
Oh God, that's right. Yeah,
Pretty
Mark
good.
Andrews will play. Give me the Bears. I'll take the Bears.
All right. This is the third game I might get up on you guys. Who knows?
Just keep in mind
need
that the Ravens defense is possibly going to give up 600 points this year. So,
Yep.
they're on track.
The last game of the 1:00 slate. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say LA and Jags. Who we got going on there?
I think it'll be a
Close
tie.
that gap.
I think it'll be
Close
a
that
tie.
gap.
The last game of the 1:00 slate, San Fran going into Houston. Houston 1.5-point favorites at home. It's a low over under, the lowest of the week, 41.5.
There's no way, right? Hear me out. There's no way with how hot McCaffrey, Christian, has been playing that they don't feed him the ball consistently, there's no way they don't win this game. Because he's emerged like he's back to being 25, running the rock very, very well, but doing what he does best and receiving it out of the backfield and making everyone and their grandmother mess. There's no way that they don't win this. Right?
Give me
George,
give me the
Kittle's
49ers.
back. Kittle's back.
Houston's
Nico might
defense
not
is
play.
Really good. It's just really good.
Yeah, but who's
Nico might
running
be
it?
out.
Yeah, he left with a concussion
Oh, that's right.
yesterday, so he's got a chance to clear it. But I mean, CJ Stroud's been very, very up and down.
Yeah, you keep in mind they also don't have an established run game because
Yep.
they don't give Marks the ball. They're still giving Chubb the ball. He's not what he was. They're going to pass it. If Nico's out, who else have they got throwing? Who else is catching it back there? I couldn't tell you. Go ahead. Good. Try and close that gap.
Wait, Christian Kirk might be out too. He was out Sunday. I don't know. They got
He's been out. Yeah.
Xavier Hutchinson,
Jaden Higgins.
Oh, they got
Jalen Noel,
Higgins,
Braxton Higgins, and Braxton Berrios. No,
Braxton Berrios.
Jim Rat.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget Dalton Schultz. Yeah, I have a voice crack because I've got sinus stuff going on. That's just not my normal voice. Like you.
So you're going through puberty again. It's fine. Everybody goes through it 3 or 4 times in a lifetime.
I only laugh so hard because I've never been on the other end of that.
Yeah.
Houston's
Now you know why we laugh
defense,
so
fourth
hard.
best in the league against the run, third best in the league against the pass.
Doesn't matter.
Number one in points allowed. They've only allowed 88 points to the next team is the LA Rams at 117. I'm going Houston.
That's okay.
You guys both going San Fran?
Yep. It's no. They got a new drill sergeant and whatchamacallit, Patriots guy Mac. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Drill sergeant.
Yeah, something like that.
Or we got the 4:00 games. This one's not up for debate. Tampa Bay going into New Orleans. How is that a thing? Tampa Bay's only 3.5 point favorites. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Because everyone of their
injuries.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm still going Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay.
Something to kind of keep an eye on fantasy wise for the Saints. I know there's not many players at the in the Saints organization that you want to hold on to. Oh, their running back situation has just been abysmal. But whatchamacallit just went out on IR. He went out on IR. They have a rookie back there. And who's the main? I can't remember, forgetting his name.
Alvin Kamara.
That's right. He hasn't been
Devin
relevant.
Neal's the rookie. Those are the only 2 backs they have listed.
Yes. So Alvin Kamara has not really produced running wise. They haven't really given him much. Spencer Rattler's just kind of been straight ass, like everybody expected. Devin might be a sneaky play, but even with the injuries, I think the Bucs still take it. But just kind of fantasy wise, keep an eye on in case Kamara, I think that's his name, if he gets hurt or doesn't produce. They've already said they're not going to trade him, but you never know.
Alvin Kamara, first of his name. So Zoltowski, where are you going this game?
The Bucs. Baker's going to bounce back from last week, even with all the injuries. Godwin might still be out too, so keep an eye on that, especially because they have their bye coming up the week after. So they might just, especially with Mike Evans now being out for the rest of the season, they might take it easy and just not risk him getting hurt. But I still like the Bucs.
Fire up your Tez shares if he doesn't play.
Yep.
Next game we have at 4:25 Dallas going to Denver at Mile High. Denver 3.5 point favorites. We know Dallas can put up points. Denver put up 33.25, so I'm going with Denver.
I hate to meat ride so often, right? I hate doing it. That the Dallas offense is way too good to not constantly talk about every week. They were insanely good with just George Pickens, and then they add CeeDee Lamb back into the rotation, and Dak is playing regular season Dak, not playoff Dak. I don't know. They can have 5 people out there on defense. I don't think it matters. I think they put up the points. Javonte Williams has his resurgence. He's done incredibly well. This was his make or break year. We talked about it. Same thing with the Bears running back Swift. I don't know. I don't see it changing. I don't. I know Denver's very, very good. They put up 32, 33 in a fourth. Great. They're going to have to put up 92 in order to beat that offense. I think Dak manages the ball well enough, clock management wise. Give me Dallas, unfortunately. I don't want to be right, but the offense is just too good. It's too good.
All right, Zoltowski, looking at you, big dog.
Fish took the words right out of my mouth. Give me the Cowboys, unfortunately.
Was it the meat right in, or?
No. God. Yeah, actually. That was what it was. Dallas offense looks, I mean, they didn't have CD for 2-3 weeks and they were still putting up 40 points. Now they've got CD back.
It's not fun. Jake Ferguson is incredible. Once the defense figures it out, they might be clear runners for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. Hammer the over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because the Broncos will put up points. But I think Dallas is just unstoppable right now.
Highest over the week, too, 51.5.
Yeah, this is a 70-point game right here.
Well, you said that about the Detroit and Tampa Bay game, too. But...
Yeah, and then the 17th stringers came out of nowhere and played great. All right, we're happy about it, but I wanted to see a shootout. I'm not going to lie to you. I needed the points from Jared Goff. Fantasy.
This next game, Tennessee's going into Indianapolis. Indianapolis, 14.5-point favorites. I'm going with
draft game.
Old Indiana Jones.
Yeah, give me Indy.
Yeah, Indy. You picked against them last week. You sure you don't want to go again?
Yeah, I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
We got our Sunday night game, Green Bay going into Pittsburgh. Green Bay is surprisingly 3.5-point favorites on the road. I don't feel like picking first this one, so
I'll take Green Bay.
I'm really on the fence on this game.
I think if they establish the run game early with Josh Jacobs, then that whole offense flows. But that only is determined if they can get him going.
I'll take it.
So on the fence.
I
mean, Jalen Warren played amazing last week too, but
give me that Aaron Rodgers revenge game here. Give me the Steelers.
I think that's where I'm leaning.
I hate to. I mean, I want Green Bay to lose really bad, but they're playing at home. Aaron Rodgers has been playing. I mean, he didn't play the best on Thursday night, but short week. He's got a long week now. Coming back, he needs it. He's old, but Jalen Warren, Kenny Gainwell's been good. DK Metcalf has been doing extremely well. He's been more consistent than he has or ever has. Pat Freiermuth finally got involved. So,
yeah.
Look, all it takes is one offensive lineman to jump on Aaron Rodgers' back again, and then blows up both his knees. So, at this point, I think it could happen. So,
that was crazy.
You're not wrong. It could. And they got good old Mason Rudolph or Skylar Thompson back there.
Yeah, great.
Mason Rudolph sucks. I hate that guy. Anyways, we got the Monday night game. Washington going into Kansas City. Kansas City 10.5-point favorites. This one's easy for me, especially if Jaden Daniels doesn't play. Give me Seattle or Kansas City.
It was a real easy one for you, though, right? Give me Kansas City. Rasheed Rice is back.
Bye week. Yeah, I hate to say it. Give me Kansas City.
Yep. So that's your picks this week. Zoltowski and Fish, I think, pick the same on most games. And I'm going to try to make up some points.
Every game but Sunday Night Football.
Yep. So,
and thank God it's only one Monday Night Football.
We'll lock it in. We're going to go record the Friday show. It's a little bit late here, so we appreciate you guys listening and watching. I'll see you next week, Gents. See you guys later.